Big Mike here with Hayes Entertainment.
Let's go.
Today's episode, we got an absolute beauty. NHL top prospect, Cole Perfetti.
He's a beauty. Watch what happens at the draft. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button.
Here we go.
If anyone knows a good prospect, it's Vancouver's mini Don Cherry.
Let's go crazy.
He only touches greatness.
This is the hottest place. For big name interviews in Vancouver. With Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Yeah.
Cole Perfetti, how's it going, buddy? Thank you so much, man, for coming on today. I got a buddy here with me today. Mini Don Cherry.
How you guys doing? Hey, how you guys doing? Good Canadian kid.
Good, how are you?
Hey, thanks for coming. So, buddy, we're just going to talk about hockey today. So what made you get into hockey in the first place?
Yeah, so I started playing hockey. I started skating when I was 2. I think, it's one of those things every Canadian kid does, just getting on the skates and trying that out. And that's what I did. My dad, my grandfather, they all played hockey growing up. And, that was kind of what my father had in mind, that he was just going to try me in hockey. And, I tried it. And then, sure enough, a couple years later, I was already in a league at 3 and 4, and things went from there. And but yeah, it was kind of just my parents put me into hockey. I fell in love with it and ran with that, and just followed that dream and passion ever since I was young. And growing up in Canada, watching the NHL, watching World Juniors, stuff like that, it really makes every Canadian kid want to play hockey. And I was one of those kids that fell in love with the game at a young age and stuck with that. And here I am today.
Why do you wear number 91?
Yeah, so I wear 91. Back in the day, we used to build the Oshawa Generals. So we were huge Oshawa Generals fans. And at the time when we had our first bill at Andy Andrioff, John Tavares was playing for the Gens. He was the captain of the Gens, and he was wearing number 91. And he kind of was the rock star of the OHL, ran the league, and, had the most talent that Oshawa has pretty much ever seen. He was so skilled and, the man of the town, and everyone wanted to be like him. And when I was about 6 years old, he was playing for the team, and that's when I was able to pick my first number. Growing up, up until 6, you were kind of just given a number. But once I was on my first rep team, I was allowed to choose, and that's the number I wanted to be. I wanted to just be like John Tavares. And, then I fell in love with the number and have just stuck with that ever since.
Who's the biggest influencer in your career?
Yeah, it's got to be my parents and my sister. They do everything for me. The early practices, the constant, hours at the rink, the price of the game, it's a lot of money, and they sacrificed a lot, for me to be successful and for me to have the chance to be successful. And that doesn't go unnoticed. Even my sister, growing up, she had to sacrifice hanging out with her friends or going to the movies or stuff like that to come to the rink. And she did it by choice. She wanted to come to the rink and support me and watch my games. And, she's one of my biggest fans. So it's definitely my family members, my mom, dad, and sister. I wouldn't be here today without them. And all the credit goes to them and what they've sacrificed and given up for me to be in the position that I am today.
Hey, what's your favorite road barn?
Yeah, I like playing in the Sioux. Just a good atmosphere all the time. We play there 4 times a year. We got a pretty good rivalry with the Sioux, and the fans are pretty heated up there. They like to heckle the bench, and they got a good fan section behind our bench who always give it to us. And it's always nice to kind of shut them up when you score, when you win, and it's just a good quality rink. I've played pretty good there, and I've been happy with my games there. So I feel good going into that rink, and I would just say that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Cole, what's the feeling of getting drafted 5th overall to the Saginaw Spirit?
Yeah, I was at my house in my living room with my family. Just the OHL drafts online, so just kind of watching that and keeping up to date. Obviously, at the time, I was committed to the University of Michigan, so I didn't think too much of it. I was watching for just to see what was happening and to stay up on top of things for my friends and obviously for myself as well. And when I saw that, it didn't mean too much at the time, but as time went on and clearly made the decision to go play for the Spirit in the OHL, and it was the greatest decision of my life to I just thought that was going to better my hockey career and put me in a position to help me excel to get to the next level, and it's done that and more. The relationships I've made and the bonds that I've made and the memories that I've created with all these people in Saginaw, it's just been tons of fun. And I definitely think that making this decision coming to Saginaw has put me in the position where I am today, and I'm just really grateful for it.
What's the biggest jump to the OHL?
Yeah, it was definitely the speed and the strength of the guys. The skill. It's a huge step up from minor midget and even the OJHL. I AP'd with the Whitby Fury for 5 or 6 games in my minor midget year, and that was one step above minor midget, and then the OHL was a much bigger step to adjust and to adapt to that league. It's one of the best developmental leagues in the world, and they do a great job advertising their players, developing their players, and preparing them for the next level and preparing them for the NHL. And it was hard to come in. It wasn't easy. I wasn't the biggest kid coming in. I was 5'9", 170. I'm lucky I've been able to put on a couple inches, a good amount of weight since then, and really filled into that man's body more so than I was when I came into the league. And I kind of found that a little tough for my first 2 months, living away from home and stuff like that. It's a big adjustment, but the way the Spirit, the league, they handle things, they make it real easy, and they deal with it all the time, obviously, and they make it real easy for kids to come into the league and adjust and be successful in the classroom, with their billet situation, on the ice. So I was really grateful for that. And but yeah, the speed and the skill and the strength of the men, it's a 16 to 20-year-old league, and that was the first time I was exposed to such talent and such raw ability, and the speed of some of these players were off the charts, and it was a wake up call and an eye opener for me for sure.
I mean, I'm only 5 feet tall. I'm waiting for my growth spurt.
His doctor told him he's going to have a spurt, but he hasn't had one yet.
They've been telling me since kindergarten. I even put that in my Plenty of Fish account.
Cole, you obviously had a huge rookie season with 74 points, and then you absolutely lit it up this year with 37 goals, 74 assists, and 111 points in 61 games. What was the biggest difference?
Yeah, I think the level of confidence I had going into my second year. My first year I was obviously on a great team and very fortunate to be on such a high end team, playing with great players like Tippy and Ryan McLeod, Bodie Wild, guys like that. There's so many great players, and a lot of people kind of said that I only put up those rookie numbers due to who I was playing with and how successful my team was. I felt like I had to come back with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, and prove that it wasn't just relying on those guys. But once again, I was fortunate enough to play with such great players this year, like Suzuki and Koski and Giroux, so many great players again. But I think it was a level of confidence that I came in with. I felt like I was holding on to the puck more, being able to make more plays in the offensive zone and really looking for the open guy. Last year, I felt like when I got the puck in a scoring chance, I was 100% a shoot first guy. And this year, I was more of a distributor. And, I think my numbers kind of show, and they prove that. And I think, it was definitely just the mindset that I had.
For sure.
Yeah. After being cut from the World Junior team, I came back and use that as motivation
it's so hard
to the entire league, to the Hunters, it's hard to everyone that I should have been on that World Junior team
down
and,
into
a 22,
24 man
roster. There's obviously use my play for the rest of the season to left off the team, and I use that as motivation to inspire. And I think I did a pretty good job with that, and that's what fueled me and what I used to drive me for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I was shocked as well when you got cut from that team. I was watching that, and I remember it happening that day and thinking, holy shit.
Yeah, well, I think my entire life
tough
I've always been more. I've
Definitely
always
not the team
at
you
least
wanna get
doubled
cut
my
for,
assists
but,
for goals. I've never been that much of a goal scorer.
Part of
Always been
But you learn from
more of a
that and you get
playmaker, the
yourself
assist
in the
guy.
right
And
lane and bang, bang, bang. And
last
making
year,
it next
my
year.
rookie season was the first year where they were actually
Yeah, I figured Jet
close,
Wu would have
and
been
they
there
were
as
even
well.
last year. But going into the Hlinka, I think having the tournament that I did, everything I was shooting was going in, and it was more of just being hot in the right moment. I think it's a short tournament and a short glimpse, and I think the season I had this year is
You're
a
in the
true
nickname
testament to
Gold
who I am as a
Perfetti for
player.
the shootout
Having
heroics
that
in last
mixture
year's
of goal
Hlinka.
scoring and
Gretzky
playmaking
Cup
ability,
this
and I
season
think that's
has
who I
produced
really am.
37 goals,
People
matching
had me
last year's
coming into the
OHL
season
total,
as
but you doubled your
labeled as
assist
just a
count.
goal
What
scorer
happened?
based on my rookie season and the Hlinka I had. But I think this second year and is a true testament to who I am as a player and what I've done, my entire life and how I like to play the game. Yeah, same thing. It's one of those things you dream about your entire life, and ever since I started skating, playing hockey, I've always dreamed about making Team Canada, making the World Junior team, and representing, Canada on the world stage. So to be able to do that at the U17s and the U18s was pretty surreal, and something I'll never forget. Every time you put that on, your game just seems to elevate to a new level, and the way you carry yourself, the type of human you are, it all seems to just elevate and go to that next level. And I think that's the Canadian way, and what Hockey Canada does to players, and it just brings out the best in everyone. And I've been fortunate enough to,
What was the feeling of putting
play
on the
for them
Maple
and
Leaf,
represent
representing the
Canada
country at the
a couple
U17
times,
and the U18 Hlinka
each time
Gretzky?
it's been something new and an unbelievable experience, and the best times. They've been the best hockey experience of my life for sure. Sports movie. I think growing up, you try to watch some hockey movies. There's a couple here and there, but Miracle's pretty cool. Obviously, it's about the U.S. team, but it's still a pretty cool story. Watching that and seeing what they did to overcome that adversity was pretty cool, and their story. But there's a couple sports. Rudy's a good one.
Rudy,
Kind
I
of
love
the
it.
underdog. The underdog, always doing what it takes to just get a crack at the lineup and always working hard. So I think that one's always a classic. And off the top of my head, it's got to be.
Do you have a favorite sports movie? Oh yeah, I love Rudy as well. That's one of my favorites.
You must have learned a lot from Suzuki and Koski and the captain Giroux, obviously.
Yeah, they're all pretty, well-rounded players. Obviously, Zooks was a first-rounder. The other two were drafted, and they've actually all signed now and are going to be playing pro hockey next year. So, there's tons to learn from them. I think one thing you can learn about the captain Giroux is just how hard you can work. I think that guy earned his contract off of sheer determination, work ethic, and drive for the game. I've never seen someone work so hard and want it so bad. And he's just one of the most genuine, nicest guys around. And you just want to see him succeed. And I think that there's just so much to learn from him, and he's a true captain. With the other two, there's so much to learn from on the ice and little tips here and there. They're so skilled. Kosk is such a good shooter, and he was always helping me throughout the year with little tips on how to get heavier shot, what to do in certain situations. He has such a great shot, and Zooks is such a creative player. He's he's able to create something out of nothing. It seems like at almost all times, and there's a reason he's up with Carolina right now for the playoffs. He's quite the player, and each individual, there's so much to learn from all of them, and I'm lucky and I'm fortunate to get the chance to play with all of them.
Do you have any pregame meals?
Yeah, my billet mom makes some pretty good chicken and pasta, shrimp and rice, or shrimp and quinoa. One of those three is what the go-to is, and she'll either make it before work, before school that day, or she'll make it on her lunch break, and she'll come home and make it for me. And I'm so fortunate for that. My billets are great. My billet mom's a great cook, so she's really good with that. And one of those three are my go-to for sure.
Hey, do you golf a lot? You got the TaylorMade hat on. What are you, sponsored?
Yeah, I actually I joined I became a member at the Oshawa Golf and Curling Club. It's like one of the nicest courses in Durham, in my hometown here. And I don't know if you know Ethan Cardwell or Jack Thompson. I don't know if you know, they're great golfers. Iroquois Sports Facility, since they were like 10. That's like a minute drive really close from my house. They're so close to me. My closest
That's
buddies.
honestly the nicest venue I've ever seen, ever in lacrosse, hockey, wherever I go.
This year,
like,
and going
for a minor rink, it's unbelievable.
Taking it pretty serious. I think it's rated like top 3 in Canada. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of the first summer I've really taken golf serious. Facility. I think I've played max 6 rounds in a summer my entire life. A restaurant, up to 30 rounds almost this year, which is like a full workout track. It's been a lot of fun. Swimming pool. It's definitely been worth it.
Did TaylorMade
baseball, soccer. There's I wish. Pretty much anything you can imagine. It's all in this one.
Oh yeah, I've been to Durham College before.
I'm pretty fortunate to have that.
We went there for lacrosse nationals. I think in 2010.
Yeah, it's about Durham College is about a 3-minute drive from the course.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's real close.
Yeah, I think it was at the Iroquois Park Rec Center.
Yeah, I would consider myself a hockey nerd. I think I watch a lot of YouTube. Obviously, when the games are on throughout the week and the regular season's going, the NHL Network's always on at the house, and I'm always watching that. Usually catch 3 or 4 games a week, and always up to date on the highlights.
What's your go-to celly?
I love that. I'm not ever since I was little, always watching. I don't celly too much on YouTube. There's a lot of great videos out there, and in the air, they're only getting better and better every day. So in the air, I think I've been doing that ever since I was young. But then out there, a lot of that goal, I'll sometimes just twirl the stick. I think some of it, put it away in the holster, but usually the academic side, too fancy. Translating your school.
Oh yeah, I love that one. My favorite ones are the "You Can't See Me"
if you're not trying in school,
salute.
Where does your high hockey IQ come from? Do you watch a lot of hockey?
It's not going to translate, and I think I try to apply myself in all subjects, and really tried in school and tried to use my brain to solve problems and whatnot. And I think that definitely translated to on ice and quick thinking and being able to, solve problems on the ice. Yeah, I think I would say Mitch Marner, just because of, he's not the biggest guy, neither am I, but, the way, his hockey IQ and playmaking ability is what sets him apart, and it's what makes him who he is. And I think that's, my strongest asset as well, and is what makes me who I am as a hockey player. So I try to, emulate what he does in his game and translate that into mine, pick up a few things here and there and, try to implement them into my game. And, I try to play like him. Obviously, he's a very skilled, fast player, and I'm working on that. I think I try to play like him with his hockey IQ, the way he pulls up in the offensive zone and is able to find the late man, find the trailer, and always make the right hockey play. I feel I do that pretty well.
Who do you mirror your game after?
I always try to emulate his game for sure. Yeah, I'm a big rap guy before games. Pretty much only rap. That's the only time I'll ever listen to rap is before games. Other than that, I'm a country or EDM in the just hanging out or in the car, stuff like that. But I'll listen to rap before a game in the room, in the car towards the game, and then as soon as the game's over, it's chill time, and I just put on that slower music, just country, and kind of just unwind and relax. For rap, it's either Lil TJ, or DaBaby, one of those two for rap, and then for country, it's Morgan Wallen right now.
So what's on your playlist when you play before the games?
Yeah, I've been able to, with his relationship with my billet family, and I've been able to build a relationship with him for a couple of years, or being able to play hockey with his kid when we were younger. Keenan, it's been nice to build that relationship and kind of build that friendship early. Ever since I was younger, he's always told me that hard work will get you anywhere in life, and that's kind of his.
Do you have a favorite rapper that you listen to before the game, or maybe a country singer?
Player, but it was his work ethic and determination that set him apart, and put him on that high level of play. So he always kind of just the way he did things. There's a funny story I had one time we were wake surfing at my billet's
retired
cottage.
and
He didn't know how to
NHL vet,
do it, and he couldn't get up.
Chris Draper is a family friend of yours. What's the best advice he's ever given you?
He must have tried it 30 times, might have taken an hour, but he finally got it, and that's when he stopped. As soon as he got it, he was determined, and it just goes to show you his work ethic to succeed, and it's just little things like that being around him, where you get to understand his motto and the way he lives and why he was so successful. Yeah, for sure. He played a rough and tough game, but also had that skill too. Yeah, I'm trying to. Obviously, I'm in the gym a lot lately. The last 2 months, I've been able to get in the gym hard and really get a lot of work in.
I was gonna say you look pretty ripped.
I don't know. That might be Colby down there. Through the screen, he might come at you through the screen, but
relax.
No, just being in the gym for an extra 2 months, 3 months that normally I wouldn't get. I've been able to get a lot stronger.
Yeah, Draper, man, he's a hard worker. I remember watching that guy.
Really
he's in the
that.
corners, he's digging there, he's in front of the net. That guy took a beating.
Oh yeah, him and Goldstrom in front of the net.
Really
They're
just
always
trying new
banging
things.
Back in the 90s.
Just trying to improve my game in all situations, and it's been successful so far.
How are you preparing yourself as a top prospect in this draft?
I'm happy with the way things are going, and I'm excited for the rest of the way. There's a couple for them. Like, people always have those, like, what was the craziest scout question? I never got really too crazy. Like, there was one when I was interviewing with LA, they kind of asked, okay, if you're on the power play with Drew Doughty, Kopitar, where are you sitting on that power play line? And I was a little starstruck, didn't know what to say. Just to be in the same category as those two all-stars, and them asking me where I wanted to play on the power play if I were to pick for them. It was pretty weird. I didn't know what to say, and I was kind of just like, I'll play wherever. I don't even care where it is, anywhere, as long as, it would just be an honor to be on the ice. So that one kind
What
of
was the
stumped me,
favorite
but
question that
for the
you've
most
had
part,
a
I
scout
didn't get
ask
really
you?
too many weird ones. I would just say that they're going to get a 200-foot player who can, brings that offensive side of the game. Dual threat, I think I can score and play make, get the assist. But I think the one thing I would say is just the consistency day in and day out, what you're going to get with me. And, some kids are, a little questionable and no one knows what they're going to get every day. And I think with me, you're going to get, a hardworking kid who's a good leader and, someone who's just going to put my full effort and work ethic towards the end goal every day. So.
Well, if we're on that topic, then the GM or scout were to ask, what does Cole bring to the table?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thanks for having us on.
Cole, I want to thank you again for coming on today. We really appreciate it. We know you're a stud and you're going to go far in hockey, and we can't wait to cheer you on for the rest of your career.
I'm a big fan all the way now.
Good luck in the draft, bud.
Hey guys, it's Cole Perfetti. Just want to say hi. And I was just on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.